Hi, my name's Travis. I'm going to talk about the security of RANEPA and how the people at RANEPA, the security apparatus, and also the administration really don't care about the safety of their students. I'm going to talk about um, Valery Toporovsky right now. This is Valery Toporovsky with Elena Shestberg, the blonde. Once again, another picture of Valery Toporowski and Elena Shestberg. What happened is that I am a lawyer from Washington, D.C., and I enrolled in RANEPA. I didn't realize how bad the reputation was of RANEPA, and how well, not bad reputation, just how unknown it is compared to MSU and MGIMO. It's not very reputable. In fact, I would argue that it's a diploma mill. But anyway, it was much easier to become a student there, and so I enrolled. And 2 weeks before I was supposed to start school, I found out that the program that I was going to be enrolled in, public policy, didn't have enough students, and so we were stuck with another program which had nothing to do with public policy. But that's another story. What I want to talk about today is the security of RANEPA and how it's not safe there, and how RANEPA is actually doing illegal activities that's against the Russian Federation. I was a student there, and I was in a shared bedroom, and the shared bedroom, nobody was there at first. And then approximately a month later, I will not name his full name, but he was a Kenyan, and his first name was Frederick. And Frederick came into RANEPA, and he came into my room and he says, "Oh, I'm a student here, and but I actually live off campus, but I'm going to stay in this room." And I thought, oh, wow, that doesn't sound very good, because I don't know who he is. And I never saw him again. And so then I talked to the then head of RANEPA. His name was Robin Lewis. He was the head of our program, who later quit in disgust because of the way that things were run. That was the rumor. And so I sent an email, which when I create the website, I will give the full email. But this email said that whatever you do, just don't report it to the police. We don't want to have any police involved and stuff like that. And he explained how it was illegal. And then I went into the office with Elena Shestberg, and Elena, right here, she said that it was illegal, and that if the federal authorities found out about it, they could be charged 50 to 70,000 rubles at school. And she said, don't report it. And I was still concerned about my safety. I didn't know who this guy was. And so at this point, I went to this guy, and he should be a janitor at RANEPA. He shouldn't be a security person, because he does not care about the security of or safety of the students. I went to his office with his boss, and when I got to his office, they basically laughed at me. They were all smiles, and they were thinking, oh, another American. See, it's very typical with Russians that they think they're better than everybody else, when in reality, the good portion of the first world hates them, and they basically, people outside of Moscow hate them too. Most Russians dislike Muscovites, yet they have this superiority complex. And I went in there and I explained how Frederick from Kenya was illegally in the university. He was staying in the university, but he was living somewhere else, which is illegal. You're only supposed to be registered at one place. and you're supposed to be registered where you live. That's Russian law. And he laughed at me. He didn't care. And it just escalated and escalated and escalated. And the thing is that Alona, the semester before, she told me that there was a Nigerian who, for whatever reason, she was not allowed to stay in the dorms. And what they had to do is they actually had to drag her out of her apartment. She paid in full, but they still dragged her out of the apartment. They dragged her out of the dorm and threw her out on the street. That is RANEPA. That is the safety of RANEPA. Alena Shtesburg does not care about your safety. VALERY Toporowski does not care about your safety. These people should be fired. And if you're thinking of staying at RANEPA, do not. It is a terrible university on so many levels. It's a diploma mill, and they have this Russian mentality. I had a friend call Valery on the same day. Valery Toporowski. And one thing that he said is that Travis is bringing rules to the monastery. He's bringing his rules to the monastery. And that's a famous Russian saying. And basically what he was saying is that I was trying to follow the law of the Russian Federation, and he would have nothing to do with it. And that is the attitude. So many people were disgusted by the dormitory and the way they treat people. It's a Russian mentality. It's a Soviet mentality. They do not care about your safety. If they can do this to me, an American lawyer who had to hire lawyers to deal with the people there, they can do this with anybody. If they can throw out a Nigerian woman, a child practically, a Nigerian woman, and put her on the street after she paid all of her tuition, they will do this with anybody. It is a terrible, unsafe diploma mill. Avoid RANEPA at all costs. Now, soon I will have a website that explains all this, and I'll have all documentation. And this is one of many videos. This is Travis.